The Broncos under immediate pressure. Their own media, the Sunday Mail, giving it to them. Worst ever, Hunger Games, you name it. They're ruthless up there.
Bomber.
Didn't hold back. Was that Bomber, was it?
Bomber is
Did not
best.
hold back. So let's get to the Broncos. What do we think of this loss, Dog?
Well, I think worst ever is just about right under the Maguire regime. I don't think they've played a worse game during Madge's reign up
They
there.
had a couple of shockers last year.
Yeah, but look, I'll say this, Braith. They didn't make one line break. Reece Walsh had a stinker. Let's cut through the BS. He was poor. But we've been down this path before. I just think we've got to tread a little bit carefully where Michael Maguire. After round 13 last year, they'd only won 5 games. And there was a pile-on, and perhaps that was justified. But Madge came back to jam it, you know where. So I'm just warning people now. Yes, jump on. Yes, give it a Madge. But just be careful.
Thanks for the warning, Dog.
There you go. You needed it, though, or not?
I needed that one, yeah.
They were really poor, right? And they were poor in the World Club Challenge before that, the first 40 minutes of that World Club Challenge. I mean, I'm a bit like Doggy. I'm not overly concerned at the moment because, you know, last year they had periods in that first half of the year when they were really poor and they found their way out of it. But, I mean, the issue is this is on top of Payne Haas deciding to leave. It's not just losing footy games. It's losing the best front rower in rugby league. Maybe he'll be remembered as the best front row of all time. So it's all on top of that. It's not just the way they've played. It's the fact that, you know, Payne's going to leave at the end of the year. That's compounded things. But, you know, I think let's judge Madge at the end of the year, not now.
Yeah, I think it's too early to fire bullets. They've just won a premiership. They're coming off winning a premiership. It's not the ideal start to the year, I think.
But there's been pressure on everybody up there. Penrith weren't that good. They made 15 mistakes. Well, they made 15 mistakes themselves. Yeah. Right, and I know Brisbane made 18, and it's been horrible weather, right? So it was raining all the time. Maybe Brisbane wanted to go out there and play their style of footy and didn't have the mindset. But I think they can turn it around. Ezra Mam on the bench was a surprising one for me. I think, you know, all the time, I reckon you start with your best 30.
I just think with Brisbane, and I said, like, with a lot of things, you can talk about the officiating over the weekend and all that. I think it's too early. We've got to give a grace period to everyone here. It's round 1. But in this circumstance, you got Brisbane who... Madge was under pressure the second he walked in the door. He was under the pump after, like you said, was it 5 from 13, whatever it may be, went on to win the competition. Is it unfair, the pressure that they are under and he's under, given what he's achieved there and what they have achieved over the last 12 months?
Why is it always Madge who's number 1 when it comes to targeting? I'm not saying coaches get an easy run.
Mate, Kevy lost his job. Kevy got targeted.
Madge copped more last year than Kev did the year he got sacked.
Kevy copped the same. He was gone in August. I text the CEO. Let's not listen. That's a big club. They probably got the best roster.
It's the biggest club, Gordy.
Right, it's the biggest club, and that's what everybody gets. I tell you what, if the Roosters lose again on the weekend, you watch, you know, everybody go at the Roosters, signing DCE and what's happening. That's what happens when you play at the big club. When I played there, right, this is over 20 years ago. If you didn't win a grand final, I remember going in there. Willie Kahn, Alan Cann, Michael Hancock, they all got shown the door. Kerrod Boulders, there was Australian players, got shown the door. That's what's always happened.
So we don't think there's been more on Madge, though?
They sacked Wayne Bennett.
You can argue it's fair or unfair, Braith, but that's what life is like at the Broncos. It doesn't matter who's the... Wayne was the great exception, right? Wayne was the great exception. Wayne was able to avoid being under scrutiny.
But didn't they sack him?
They did eventually. But I mean, that's, you know, I think Wayne was going to leave anyway, right? But Wayne won 6 comps there or whatever.
6 comps there.
So, you know, I know Madge won a comp, but there's also, unfortunately for Madge, to an extent, wherever he goes, there's scrutiny, right? Because of his reputation, his history. He won a comp at South, things fell apart. Poor, you know, West Tigers, things fell apart. Now he's at Brisbane, they win a comp, and it feels like there's a chance stuff may fall apart again. So I think that's why there's so much attention on him.
I don't reckon there'd be as much noise if Payne Haas.
No, that's amplified, of course.
But there's rumours around him and Payne Haas that keep circulating. And
some of these are unfair, Braith. I mean, there's this story...
So they're not true?
Well, there's a story that they fell out of the Army camp at the pre-season. Payne wasn't at the Army camp, apparently, I'm told. So, because the rep players didn't go to it. They went to another camp, 2-week camp in Toowoomba, I think. And so, you know, this is the problem. And Madge... I reckon Madge dealt with it pretty well. He did deal with it really well last year, right? But it's not going to go away because it's Brisbane, and there's, you know, they're a massive club in a massive market, and you know, the Dolphins, and with due respect to Gordy, the Gold Coast, they're in that market, but they ain't the Brisbane Broncos.
No,
they're out there on their own, right? So,
and I know the game's better in Queensland when Brisbane at the top of the table. I know that it does help the Titans and the Dolphins.
You just got to win. It's pretty simple. When they start winning, it'll go silent.
Well, he did win the comp, though.
He did, yeah, I know. It's a new season, mate. It's a new season.
The people I speak to are adamant that Haas and Madge are okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's this division there that's been portrayed. Whether it's been done deliberately because of an anti-Madge sentiment, I don't know. The mail I keep hearing, guys, it's a bit left field, is that Payne's, one of his primary reasons for leaving was religion. He wanted to come down here and be in a very strong Muslim community in Sydney. He obviously went to Islam in 2019. Sonny Bill was a mentor of his. He changed his name to Hakeem in February, Reedy.
No, well, that's his Muslim name.
His Muslim name,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So I think you'll find this religion has played a big, significant role in his move to Sydney.
Also, I mean, I don't think it's one thing that's driven Payne to come to Sydney. It's a group of things. And some of it's the coach. He wants to play under Wayne. And he obviously prefers Wayne to Madge.
Well, the rumours aren't going to stop. They're going to keep coming.
Well, they will if they win.
Yeah.
Right.
Winning stops everything.
Yeah. Because people keep talking about, I heard it on Triple M, burning out the big men, like even Sam Burgess, Ben Teo, like
that did happen. So last year, and I called him Payne Haas, and I said it on this show, when he was going and he was getting epidurals or whatever it was, and he was going to New South Wales, Laurie didn't let him train, and he was coming back after playing Origin and backing up. Big men, they do need a rest, and what Payne has, what he puts his body through, I think sometimes. You got to save the tough people from themselves because, that's why there's a towel in boxing because you've got to throw it in sometimes because Payne's going to put his hand up and keep on playing. He played 80 minutes in the first game of the year. Front rowers don't do that.
I was surprised what you brought up before, Gordy, about Ezra Mam. I think Madge overthought that. He wanted to let the sting go out of the game and then bring Ezra in. But I can't pick a Brisbane side that doesn't have Ezra Mann in the starting side. I'd have Benny Hunt at hooker, Corey Pakes can go back to the bench, but Ezra Mann's got to be in that starting side.
Everyone knows on this panel I'm a big fan of Madge, and I pushed him last year. I went a bit toe-to-toe with Buzz about it. I don't get this. I didn't understand it. When I saw the teams come out, because I was doing the Friday Night Footy on Fox, I was like, why? This kid is one of the elite players of our game, one of the best 5/8s of our game. He's had a full pre-season. He's electric. Even the grand final when he came on, I know it worked in the grand final, but he had instances, that had happened throughout the year that had put him in that position. He had two experienced halves in Hunt and Reynolds. They're both ageing halves now. Get your young, fresh blood out there. They missed the jump and they couldn't come back. I just didn't get it. I rate him as a coach, Madge. He knows that, and I've spoken about that on this show, but I thought that was a really strange move and the wrong one.
It was 12-0 when he came on and the game was virtually over.
And as I said it on the night, as a half, as a genuine half who's used to starting his whole life, coming off the bench is hard when you get put into a halves position because you don't know the flow of the game, the rhythm, the timing, combinations with your 6 and your 7 and your 9. It's not easy to do. If you're coming on at 9, 13, and you're filling in the,
you can have a couple
halves,
of runs.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense to me, and I believe he'll be starting this week.
Yeah, he has to be. It has to be because it was a bad call. He got it wrong. That was pretty clear from the result.